Module 9. It is post-approval changes and product life cycle management. As we know that there are three phases: development phase, approval phase, and post-approval phase. So in this we will see what are the post-approval changes and what is product life cycle management. Let's start with USA. What is post-approval change? Post-approval changes are non-avoidable changes due to many reasons for improving the product's quality and safety. The post-approval changes are the modifications which are made to the approved pharmaceutical product and to provide the data to support a change that would be considered sufficient to evaluate the effect of alteration on the value of the approved drugs as it relates to the health, efficacy, and successful use of the products. Post-approval activities of ANDA are equally important throughout the life cycle of a generic drug product. After the approval of generic drug application and during the commercialization of the drug product, manufacturers may propose certain changes to an approved ANDA or DMF to optimize the operational cost or increase productivity or due to administrative reasons. These post-approval changes are submitted to the US FDA by filing supplements or amendments. Based on the impact and complexity, changes to an approved ANDA have been categorized as major change, moderate change, and minor, and the types of submissions, as well as the necessity for prior approval from the US FDA before the implementation of the change are varied. Timely submission. Timely submission of the respective supplement or amendment or annual report is critical to maintain the life cycle of the product and to be regulatory compliant. Third is, in case of an inappropriate categorization of the change, preparation of post-approval submission strategy is crucial to avoid rejections from the US FDA. What are the reporting categories? As we have seen in the previous slide, that we can report it as major change, moderate change, and minor change. So how do we submit this to the agency? Let's start with major change. A change that has a substantial potential to have an adverse effect on the identity, strength, quality, purity, or potency of the drug product, as these factors may relate to the safety or effectiveness of the drug product. A major change requires the submission of prior approval supplement and approval by FDA before distribution of the drug product made using the change. Next is moderate change. What is moderate change? A change that has a moderate potential to have an adverse effect on the identity, strength, quality, purity, or potency of a drug product, and these factors may relate to the safety or effectiveness of the drug product. Depending on the nature of the change, we can submit it as CBE30 supplement or CBE0. CBE means changes being effected in 30 days or changes being affected in 0 day. Last category is minor change. A change that has minimal potential to have an adverse effect on the identity, strength, quality, purity, or potency of the drug product. The applicant must describe minor changes in its annual report. So, minor changes we submit in the form of annual report. Let's see what are the examples of major changes. Major changes include if the supplier moved to a different manufacturing site except one used to manufacture or process a drug substance intermediate, when the new manufacturing site has never been inspected by the FDA for the type of operation that is being moved, or the move result is a restart at the new manufacturing site. This is a major change. Second example for the major change is a move to a different manufacturing site, except one used to manufacture or process a drug substance intermediate, when the new manufacturing site does not have a satisfactory CGMP inspection for the type of operation being moved. These are the types of major changes which we submit in the form of prior approval supplement. Uh, what else in major changes? If we want to add or delete or substitute sterilization step, so this also comes under major change. If we have to replace sterilizers that operate by one set of principles with sterilizer that operate by another principle, this also comes under major change. If we have to change that may affect the control release, metering or other characteristics of the dose delivered to the patient, or any changes that may affect drug product sterility assurance, like where appropriate process changes for sterile drug substance and sterile packaging components, or if we have to replace a class 100 aseptic fill area with a barrier system or isolator for aseptic filling. This is also a major change. Coming to the moderate change. In moderate change, we submit it in two formats, CBE 30 supplement or CBE 0 supplement. For example, a move to a different manufacturing site for testing. The test procedures approved in the application or procedures that have been implemented via an annual report are used. This kind of changes comes under moderate change. CB change, CB supplement 30. If there is a move to a different manufacturing site for the manufacture or processing of final intermediate, it comes under CB 0 supplement. Then coming to minor changes. Minor changes we report it in the form of annual report. If there is a move to a different manufacturing site for labeling, if there is a move to a different manufacturing site for secondary packaging, these changes come under annual report. These are minor changes and we can report all these changes under annual report. For example, if a minor change is in an existing code imprint for a dosage form, then it comes under annual reportable change. If there is a change in the order of addition of ingredients for solution dosage form or solution used in the unit operation, it is also an annual reportable change. So these are the different categories and examples through which we inform FDA and get approval. Coming to EU, it has different types of variations. As we have seen it in US, there are different types of supplements which we file as post-approval change, that were CB30 supplement, CB0 supplement, annual reportable changes and prior approval supplements. In EU, the types are type 1A 1N variation, type 1A variation, type 1B variation and type 2 variation. Type 1A 1N changes that fall under this category are commonly referred to as do and tell. Do and tell variations, because the applicant is required to implement the change and then notify the agency of the details. This level of variation is reserved for administrative changes that are anticipated to have no impact on the safety or efficacy of a product. And variations that can be submitted as type 1A must be implemented and then the required submission made within 1 year of the implementation date. For changes that are categorized as type 1E1N, the applicant must notify the agency within 14 days of implementation. Multiples of these variations for a single product can be made at the same time, as long as all of them fall within the required submission deadline. Type 1B are the minor variations that require assessment of supporting data and are anticipated to potentially have an impact on product safety or efficacy and are classified as type 1B. These are also referred to as tell and do variations. The applicant must make the submission including all required supporting data and await agency approval before implementing the change. The process follows a defined assessment period of 30 days, but with agency questions, it can often take up to 3 months. Type 2 variations. Type 2, this classification is reserved for major variations, which are expected to affect the safety and efficacy of a product and require careful assessment before the applicant can implement the change. They require considerable supporting documentation and must be assessed and signed off by an appropriately qualified expert in their respected field before being submitted. This is all about Europe. Product Life Cycle Management, that is PLM. What is this? Let's see. Product life cycle management is the process of managing the entire life cycle of a product from its conception through design and manufacture to service and disposal. Product life cycle management runs the product in various phases of production. Let's see how. Development of pharmaceutical substances, formulation, including the design of container closure system, product development and manufacturing for experimental products, development of a delivery system wherever it is relevant, process development and scaling up in the manufacturing industry, development of an analytical method, transfer of technological knowledge. New product transfers occur during the development process and continue through manufacturing. Transfers inside a production facility or between manufacturing and testing facilities for commercial products. Manufacturing in the commercial sector. Materials are acquired and controlled in a variety of ways. The provision of facilities, utilities, and equipment is a requirement. Production is being carried out including packaging and labeling, control and guarantee of product quality, storage and distribution of released materials excluding wholesaler activities. Drug life cycle. In general, the pharmaceutical industry product passes through the following life cycle phases. On a broad level, the life cycle has the following stages, like the preclinical phase, initial registration phase, clinical trials, drug production phase, marketing of drug, then comes supply chain management, and at last it is post-marketing survey. So all these comes under the drug life cycle. Now we know that product life cycle includes development phase, approval phase, and post-approval phase. Now let's see what is the role of regulatory affairs professional in all these stages. Coming to the development phase, we ensure that the legislative requirements are met, like we arrange for scientific advice authorities, advise on development studies to demonstrate safety, quality, and efficacy. We set up regulatory strategy. We participate in cross-functional project teams. We ensure application of guidelines, preparation of submission of application to conduct clinical trials, managing the preparation of regulatory submissions, to minimize time to market and advise on a global development plan. We optimize submission strategies, efficiency in dossier preparation includes format, document reuses, electronic submissions, internal company relationships, project management, review high-level documents or reports, and interact with commercial side of business such as pricing and reimbursement. So this was all about the role of regulatory affairs during the development phase. Coming to the next phase, that is approval phase, is we check the process, like we check the progress of evaluation and anticipate questions, clarify raised questions, plan response and strategies with other departments. We plan and manage agency meetings or hearings. We negotiate approval and product information with agencies. So all these are the role of regulatory affairs during the approval phase. Coming to the role of regulatory affairs during post-approval phase. We are involved in compliance activities like submission of variations or amendments, renewals, pharmacovigilance, product information review, new indications or new formulations. We give regulatory input to development plans, regulatory intelligence, what does the future hold. All this comes under post approval phase. After going through all these details, now we know the importance of regulatory affairs department in pharmaceutical industry. Let's see how important we are. In today's competitive environment, the reduction of the time taken to reach the market is critical to a product and hence the company's success. The proper conduct of its regulatory affairs activities is therefore of considerable economic importance for the company. Inadequate reporting of data may prevent a timely positive evaluation of a marketing application. A new drug may have cost many millions of euros or dollars, pounds to develop, and even a 3-month delay in bringing it to the market has considerable financial considerations. Even worse, failures to fully report all the available data or the release of product bearing incorrect labeling may result in the need of a product recall. Either occurrence may lead to the loss of several millions of units of sales, not to mention the resulting reduction in confidence of the investors, health professionals, and patients. The Regulatory Affairs Department is very often the first point of contact between the government authorities and the company. Regulatory Affairs Department is constantly evolving and growing and is the one which is least impacted during the acquisition and merger and also during recession. Regulatory affairs departments are growing within the companies also. And due to the changing resources necessary to fulfill the regulatory requirements, some companies also choose to outsource or outtask regulatory affairs to external service providers. In today's competitive environment, the reduction of the time taken to reach the market is critical to a product and hence the company's success. So, our importance is throughout the product life cycle and its importance creates its need. So, this was all about the importance of regulatory affairs in pharmaceutical industry. Regulatory education. What exactly is required in this? The personnel in the regulatory affairs should have a good knowledge of all documents related to the respective country guidelines. Regulatory affairs personnel should be well known about the WHO, ICA, GMP and other regulatory documents which have to be revised and submitted. These people are the primary communication barrier between the pharmaceutical companies and worldwide regulatory bodies such as US FDA and the European Union, etc. So all these points comes under regulatory education. With this, we have come to an end of the course. After going through all the modules, now we know what is regulatory affairs, what are the roles of regulatory affairs department, what are innovator and generic drug products, what are the types of DMFs, what is DMF, what is common technical document, what is the registration process. We know what are the major regulatory authorities, and what are the regulatory requirements of different countries, and we also know about the post approval changes and product life cycle management. We hope that the learnings that you gained by this course would help you in your future, and we wish you all the very best in life. Thank you.